Army, are you ready for the most heartwarming YunMin moment of 2026? Because what I'm about to share with you is going to make you believe in true friendship all over again. On February 2nd, when BTS made their historic return to the airport as a complete group for the first time in 5 years, something incredibly special happened that most people missed. While everyone was focused on the members' stunning airport fashion and their dazzling blonde Jimin, there was a beautiful detail that proves just how deep the bond between Jimin and Suga really is. And Army, trust me when I say this moment is going to warm your heart. So make sure you stay until the very end because I'm going to reveal why this simple act of sharing a car means so much more than you think. Before we dive in, if you love BTS and want to stay updated with all the latest news, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss any updates. And don't forget to share this video with your fellow Army. Now, let's get into this beautiful story. Let me set the scene for you, Army. It was the night of February 2nd, 2026, and Incheon International Airport was absolutely buzzing with excitement. Fans had been camping out since the early hours after news broke that all 7 BTS members would be departing together for an overseas schedule. This wasn't just any regular airport appearance, this was history in the making. BTS appeared at Incheon International Airport on the night of the 2nd, signaling its first full return in 4 years, the national. Can you imagine the emotions running through every Army's heart at that moment? The atmosphere was electric. Cameras were flashing, fans were screaming, and the entire world was watching as BTS prepared to board their 11:40 p.m. flight to Dubai. The members showed off their world-class presence by arriving at the airport using luxury vehicles that revealed their individuality, Gulf News. Now this is where it gets really interesting, Army. Each member arrived in their own unique style, showcasing their individual personalities through their choice of vehicles. V, being the sophisticated art lover that he is, arrived in a sleek British-made Bentley. The image of V stepping out of that car was like something straight out of a movie. Jungkook also chose a Bentley, matching his golden maknae status with a golden ride. RM and J-Hope went for the ultimate luxury statement, arriving in a Maybach that screamed world-class superstar energy. But here's where the story takes a turn that melted every Army's heart. While some members chose to make grand individual entrances, 2 members decided to do something completely different, something that speaks volumes about their relationship and the kind of people they are at their core. Jimin arrived using the same carnival car as Suga and gave a bright smile to fans gathered at the airport, Gulf News. Jin also arrived in a carnival car, but what made Jimin and Suga's shared ride so special was the choice itself and what it represents about their friendship. Now, let me explain why this is such a big deal, Army. We're talking about 2 global superstars who could easily afford any luxury vehicle they wanted. These are men who wear designer clothes worth thousands of dollars, who have endorsement deals with the biggest luxury brands in the world. Jimin is literally a Dior global ambassador, and his airport outfit alone probably cost more than most people's monthly salary. Jimin was seen carrying the brand's Normandy tote bag from the summer 2025 collection, priced at $8,700, time out Dubai, and it sold out almost immediately after he was spotted with it. This man has influence that literally breaks the internet and crashes websites. And Suga? He's one of the most successful producers and rappers in the world, someone whose music has touched millions of lives, whose words have provided comfort to countless people going through difficult times. He's a Valentino ambassador and one of the most respected figures in the music industry. These are men who could easily have shown up in the most expensive, most luxurious vehicles available. They could have made separate grand entrances that would have had fans screaming their names individually, but they didn't. They chose to share a ride. They chose companionship over individual glory. They chose friendship over status. And Army, that choice tells us everything we need to know about who they really are. Let me paint a picture of what this moment looked like. It's late at night, probably around 10:30 or 10:40 p.m. The airport is packed with media, fans, and security. Everyone is waiting to catch a glimpse of BTS. Then a carnival car pulls up. The door opens and out steps Suga, followed by Jimin. And here's the detail that made Army's hearts explode with emotion. Jimin gave a bright smile to fans gathered at the airport. Gulf News. Not just any smile, Army, a bright smile. The kind of genuine, happy smile that reaches your eyes. The kind of smile you can only give when you're truly comfortable and happy. The kind of smile that comes from being with someone who makes you feel safe and at peace. Can we talk about the symbolism here for a moment? In Korean culture, and honestly in any culture, the people you choose to spend your private moments with, the people you choose to share your personal space with, those are the people who truly matter to you. Jimin and Suga could have requested separate cars. They could have maintained that superstar image of arriving alone in luxury vehicles. But instead, they chose to spend those last moments before a long journey together. They chose to share that quiet time in the car, probably talking, probably laughing, probably just enjoying each other's company in a way that only true friends can. Now, if you've been following BTS for a while, you know that Jimin and Suga's friendship, often called YunMin by fans, is one of the most beautiful and genuine relationships in the group. But it's also one of the most understated. Unlike some of the more openly affectionate pairings in BTS, YunMin's bond is quieter, deeper, more subtle. It's the kind of friendship that doesn't need grand gestures or constant public displays. It's built on mutual respect, understanding, and genuine care for each other. Think about their personalities for a moment, Army. Jimin is often described as the embodiment of kindness and warmth. He's the member who always makes sure everyone else is okay, who puts others before himself, who lights up every room he enters with his smile and positive energy. Suga, on the other hand, is more reserved, more introspective. He's someone who shows his love through actions rather than words, someone who observes quietly and cares deeply, even if he doesn't always express it openly. On the surface, they might seem like an unlikely pair, but Army, that's exactly what makes their friendship so special. They complement each other perfectly. Suga has been a source of strength for Jimin since their training days. Did you know that when Jimin was struggling during his training period, feeling discouraged and uncertain about his future, it was Suga who told him he liked his voice and encouraged him to keep going. That kind of early support creates bonds that last a lifetime. And Jimin, with his warm personality and caring nature, brings out a softer side of Suga that we don't always get to see. He makes Suga smile. He makes Suga laugh. He reminds Suga that it's okay to be vulnerable and to show emotion. Throughout their career, we've seen countless moments that prove the depth of their friendship. On their variety show, Run BTS, we've watched them bicker and tease each other like siblings, but we've also seen them instinctively team up when it matters. We've heard Suga confess that he loves Jimin in one of their vlogs, making both Jimin and Army emotional with his rare display of verbal affection. We've watched them collaborate on stage, their chemistry undeniable as they perform together. We've seen them support each other through difficult times, always there with a quiet word of encouragement or a comforting presence. And now, here they are in 2026, after years of friendship, after completing their military service, after going through one of the most challenging periods of their lives separately, choosing to share this moment together, choosing to arrive at the airport side by side. That's not just friendship, Army. That's family. That's brotherhood. That's the kind of bond that transcends fame, success, and status.
Let me give you some context about what makes this moment even more significant. Jimin debuted a striking blonde hairstyle that sent the internet into a meltdown, Gulf News. He was wearing a long black trench coat over an olive green knit sweater vest with metal buttons and a black crewneck tee, carrying that viral Dior bag that sold out within hours. Jimin was without question one of the most photographed and talked about members that night. The cameras were going crazy for him. Fans were screaming his name. The internet was in chaos, with Jimin dominating Google Trends in various categories, reaching 100% search interest score repeatedly. Time Out Dubai. In that moment, Jimin could have easily been caught up in all the attention, the fame, the spotlight. But instead, when he stepped out of that car with Suga, his first instinct was to smile brightly at the fans, to acknowledge the people who had been waiting for hours to see them. And by choosing to share that car ride with Suga, he was sending a message loud and clear. No matter how much fame they achieve, no matter how big they become, their friendships, their bonds with each other, that's what matters most. That's what keeps them grounded. That's what makes them BTS. Now, I want you to think about the practical side of this for a moment too. The BTS members were scheduled to take a flight to Dubai at 11:40 p.m. Gulf News. That's a late-night flight. They probably had a long day of preparations before that. Packing, final meetings, saying goodbye to family. By the time they got to the airport, they were probably tired. They knew they had a long journey ahead of them, followed by whatever schedule awaited them in Dubai and then Lisbon. In those circumstances, who you choose to spend your energy with matters. And Suga and Jimin chose to spend that time together. That's not coincidence, Army. That's intentional. That's meaningful. Think about what probably happened in that car ride. Maybe they were talking about their upcoming album, Arirang, sharing ideas and excitement about the comeback. Maybe they were discussing the world tour that's about to start in April, the anticipation of performing together again as a complete group. Maybe they were reminiscing about old times, laughing about memories from their trainee days or their earlier tours. Or maybe, and this is just as likely, they were sitting in comfortable silence, each lost in their own thoughts, but finding comfort in each other's presence. Because that's what real friendship is, isn't it? Being able to sit together without needing to fill every moment with words. Being completely comfortable with silence because you know the other person gets you. The fact that Jin also arrived in a carnival car shows that some members value practicality and companionship over making a flashy entrance. But the specific detail that Jimin and Suga shared the same car, that they arrived together, that distinction was important enough for media outlets to specifically mention it. Star News Korea specifically reported that Jimin arrived using the same carnival car as Suga, Gulf News. They could have just said both arrived in carnival cars, but no, they emphasized that they shared the same vehicle. That detail mattered to reporters because they understood what it signified. And let's talk about that bright smile that Jimin gave to the fans. You know what that smile tells me, Army? It tells me that Jimin was genuinely happy in that moment. Despite the pressure, despite the cameras, despite the chaos of a major airport departure with the whole world watching, Jimin was at peace. And I truly believe that arriving with Suga, having his friend by his side, contributed to that sense of peace. Because when you're with people who truly care about you, people who have seen you at your best and your worst and still choose to be by your side, you can face anything with a smile. This moment also beautifully contrasts with the individual choices other members made. V and Jungkook arriving in Bentleys, RM and J-Hope in a Maybach. These choices reflect their individual personalities and preferences, and there's nothing wrong with that. Each member expressing themselves in their own way is part of what makes BTS so special. But Jimin and Suga choosing to arrive together, choosing companionship and shared experience over individual spotlight, that choice reflects their personalities just as much. It shows that for them, friendship isn't just something they talk about in interviews or show for cameras. It's something they actively choose, even in moments when they could easily choose otherwise. Army, as we approach BTS's comeback with the Arirang album on March 20th, as we prepare for their Netflix live performance on March 21st, and the documentary BTS The Return on March 27th, moments like these remind us why we fell in love with BTS in the first place. Yes, we love their music. Yes, we're amazed by their talent and their achievements. But what really makes us ARMY, what really keeps us connected to them, is their authenticity, their genuine love and care for each other, the way they prioritize their relationships over superficial displays of wealth or status, the way they consistently show us that at the end of the day, they're 7 friends who chose to walk this path together and who continue to choose each other every single day. This simple act of sharing a car to the airport might seem like a small thing to some people, but ARMY knows better. We know that every choice these men make is observed by millions. We know that they're aware of the message their actions send. And by choosing to arrive together, Jimin and Suga sent a powerful message about what they value, about what matters, about what success truly means when you have people you care about by your side. As we prepare for what promises to be the biggest year in BTS history, with the comeback we've been waiting for, with the world tour that will take them to 34 cities across 82 performances, with all the exciting projects and collaborations ahead, let's remember to appreciate these small moments, these quiet displays of friendship, these choices that speak louder than words. Because that's what YunMin has always been about. Not grand gestures or dramatic declarations, just two friends consistently choosing to be there for each other, supporting each other, and reminding us all what true friendship looks like. Remember, Army, in a world that often values individual success over genuine connections, Jimin and Suga choosing to share that car ride to the airport reminds us what really matters. It's not about arriving in the most expensive vehicle. It's about who you choose to make the journey with. And BTS, time and time again, choose each other. That's why we love them. That's why we'll always be ARMY. So ARMY, what did you think about this beautiful YunMin moment? Did it warm your heart as much as it warmed mine? I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more BTS content, please give this video a like. Subscribe to our channel for more updates on BTS's comeback and world tour, and share this with your fellow ARMY who would love to see this heartwarming moment. Don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you never miss any of our videos. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, ARMY, Borahae!